Welcome, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. Happy Wednesday to all of you out there. I am your co host, Trey Holiday, and we are so excited to be bringing you guys a jam packed show today. I got to bring in my co host, my bro, Big O. What up, Big O?
Good morning, Trey Holiday.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well.
Man, I'm full of energy right now because we were just on a conference this morning that the King County put together. And on the same call, you had the people from the Scanner down there at the Black newspaper in Portland. You had Chris Bennett from KRIZ, KZIZ in the media. You had Marla Beaver from the Facts. You had representative there from the South Seattle Emerald. You had Tony B from Rainier Avenue Radio. And man, it was dope. You know, these big icons. You know what I'm saying? I was just a little guy in the room, man. And especially when you talk about the legacy of the Beavers there at the Facts newspaper, and you talk about the Bennetts over at KRIZ, KZIZ, and the Medium. I'm like, man,
Hey.
you know, that's where you sit there at the table of elders. You just kind of sit and be quiet and listen.
Yeah, that's right, man. Amazing gathering of Black media, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful to hear.
Really, definitely. All right. So before we jump into it, this is a great opportunity to remind you right now to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and share Converge Media's morning update show with people that you feel could appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating here from the city of Seattle. Also, we've got Besa. Besa's joining us to later on this morning, I guess you'd say. She has another edition of the Rewind with Besa coming out Saturday at 2 p.m. And she's talking about, let me put this up here real quick. She didn't put the description here, so I'm gonna wait for her to tell everybody about it. But you know, she's talking something pop culture award shows. I think we were talking about that the other day. Yeah. Man, you know, unfortunately, starting off with some bad news here today. There was a man, I guess you would just say, well, let me put up the title here. Man shoots at woman at Central District housing facility before killing himself. This is actually from the Seattle Police Department, from the blotter. There isn't a lot of official information that's out right now, but the information that we do have, according to the SPD, is that a man went over there to Catholic Community Services and had basically shot at a person. I think we know a little bit more information, but shot at a person. The person got away, and then police in searching the building found that this man had died from a self-inflicted wound. Basically, had killed himself there with the gun. So this happened there on 23rd and Yesler yesterday at Catholic Community Services.
Yeah, I mean, what another tragedy. And to be honest, so many people are feeling so much pressure. And, you know, who knows what, you know, was this man's particular situation. But I just want to send, you know, some love right now to all the staff at Catholic Community Services, the people that may have been affected by this. Once again, we always talk about how it hits people differently. And, you know, I'm glad that the woman he was trying to shoot was able to get away in this instance, that it didn't result in, you know, multiple lives being lost yesterday. But just shout out to all of those who may have been in the building, earshot of the gunshot. There's a lot of different ways that people experience and take on these traumas, though.
Right. And, you know, we talk about that. And, you know, in the city of Seattle, just the numbers show with violent assaults, murders, things like that in our community is much higher. But we talk about the trauma as well. And when we talk about victims, you can't leave out trauma, vicarious trauma, and some everything else. Because a lot of people we know work up there at Catholic Community Service. They've actually been working in our community. Some of them have made a career of it for decades, Catholic Community Services. And, you know, I think it also goes back to a discussion that we were having when people are talking about reimagining things here in the city. I think that being able to give a trauma-informed care for, you know, I mean, some people aren't going to want to return to work. Some people, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what if people stumbled upon this body that was there, some everything else? So, unfortunate up there in the Central District yesterday on 23rd and Yesler. Like I said, not a lot of official details out right now, but we'll stay on top of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. Moving over to the Seattle Times. Seattle Times here. This is Sydney Brownstone. More than 200 people stayed in Seattle emergency shelters during winter snowstorm, city says. Says when temperatures dropped below freezing earlier this month amid a winter snowstorm, more than 200 people sought shelter inside emergency facilities set up by city officials, according to the city. Sydney Brownstone also goes on to say an estimated 3,700 people live outside or in places not designated for human habitation in Seattle. And last year, 6 people presumed to be homeless died of causes involving hypothermia. I will say that, you know, the city mobilized. They mobilized. They opened three or four. I know Garfield Community Center was one. Fisher Plaza was one at the Seattle Center. Is another one. They mobilized and opened them quickly, but the capacity of them was only at like 160, 170 people. It says 200 here. It was housed. I think the only thing that we hear from people is not that the city acted, but there's not enough space for when you get something like that cold blast that came through here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I know so many folks are trying to find new solutions to and being innovative right now. I mean, we are a city that is so cramped. I mean, there has been one development after another, as we've seen in the last few years. Seattle being one of the top cities in the nation in terms of development, lots of cranes out there, not enough space to really house folks. And it really is an issue in terms of being innovative and thinking about housing diversity. Shelter is a part of that in terms of real shelters. And that's why so many amazing folks are on the ground trying to find solutions to this, because it's something that we know city officials can't do alone.
Right. And we also know that this issue of homelessness, we don't do it enough justice just to touch on it here and touch and go. And so I've actually been talking to a bunch of different stakeholders in the homeless community and the ecosystem out there. And we're putting together kind of a discussion that we're going to have here in a few weeks. And like I said, homelessness is a lot of money that goes into over $1 billion. You could say is invested, if that's the word, in the homelessness and combating homelessness and unhoused in Seattle. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see that, you know, there's a lot of stakeholders nobody's ever heard of that are really doing a lot of work. There's a lot of stakeholders that everybody's heard of that we'll just see. But we're going to have a discussion on that. Moving along, this is down in Olympia. It's getting busy down there in the state legislature right now. So down in Olympia, police officers who witness excessive force must intervene. Washington State Senate votes. This is by Maya Leshikar from the Seattle Times. A bill to curb excessive force by law enforcement officers got the approval of the Washington State Senate on Tuesday, becoming the first piece of police accountability legislation to pass out of a chamber this year. It was supported by Democratic legislators and community advocates. SB 5066. We actually aired the public comment on 5066 here live on Converge. And it will require officers to intervene and try to stop excessive force by their peers. The vote mostly fell along party lines, 28-21, with one Democrat, Tim Sheldon of Potlatch. You know, I'm a big Washington State history and geography guy, but man, Jake, where's Potlatch?
Don't put me up that.
Got you stumped too, huh?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Potlatch. Okay. Well, he's the only Democrat who opposed it. Looks like next steps needs to go over to the legislature, the other house there. But 5066, this was one of the early bills that got a lot of attention.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I mean, one of the things that is some of the easiest ways to intervene are other officers who are already on the scene. I mean, we actually saw this really nationally and globally with regard to George Floyd's death. I mean, we could take it back to something that really sparked so much activity and people coming out and utilizing their voices because, you know, as one officer had the knee on the neck of George Floyd, others were just standing around like watching it happen. So I love that this bill has passed at a state level. It's really important, again, as we were talking about with some of those bills that are going on down in Olympia, that we begin to have some real state level regulation around a lot of the ways that the police move so that it's not based on one city after another.
Right. You know, I came across this. Is my good friend Lisa Gardner, who's actually from Spokane, spent a lot of years here in Seattle. She's a publicist here in Seattle and then on the East Coast, big time publicity stuff there. Now she's over in the city of Spokane. So I was on her LinkedIn earlier, and the city of Spokane had actually put out a video talking about Spokane elected officials. And we'll see right here. They talk about Mayor Jim Chase, who was elected in 1981, the first elected mayor, Black elected mayor of a major city here in the state of Washington.
Black History Month is America's history. Black history is Spokane's history. I'm coming to you today from the Jim Chase Gallery at City Hall. And I'm talking about the elected in our city, African American electeds. And I want to talk about Jim Chase. So in 1934, Mayor Chase arrived in Spokane in a boxcar. He started an auto business repair shop that went on to be successful. He also was president of the NAACP. He was elected twice to city council and then as mayor. He was the first elected Black mayor. It was considered a night of celebration. I mention this because not only was he our first Black mayor in Spokane, but the first one in the state of Washington. It was 9 years later before Norm Rice of Seattle was elected mayor. To this day, he continues to be the only one elected. Jim Chase was really committed to youth in this city, hence the Chase Youth Commission and the gallery. And just being involved, it just speaks to his connectedness of the city and realizing he wasn't about a color thing, he was about the people of Spokane.
All right, there. So Mayor Jim Chase, elected there in 1981, the very first elected Black mayor here in the state of Washington. Actually, in the city of Lacey, there was the first Black mayor in the state was appointed by the city council there or was in Roslyn, in Roslyn, Washington. But yeah, you see Spokane, I mean, also right there, the representative, the council member giving the presentation there, Black city council member of Spokane too.
Yeah, you know.
We ain't got no Black council members here in Seattle.
That's right, right. Yeah, that's so true, man. One of the busiest cities in Washington State. And that's also something that people on the streets are talking about all the time. But you know what? Shout out to you, Spokane, for being one of the first cities here in the state of Washington to recognize that diverse leadership was going to do your city some good. And it sounds like Mayor Jim Chase out there was doing a lot of good. You see him out there with the kids, really, as she just said there, caring for the people of Spokane. Spokane
actually has a real big Black history. For all kinds of different reasons. And one, so Spokane was the hub of the Intermountain West right there for a long time. And there's a lot of history on Spokane. And actually, we look forward to working with the Black Heritage Society of the state of Washington to tell more stories about the eastern part of our state. So, hey, you caught up with Kamisha.
Yeah.
Kamisha Turner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Caught up with Kamisha Turner, artist and curator of an amazing show right now at Vermilion called Debt to the Queen. And I'm excited for you guys to hear a little bit about what this show was about, why they decided to do this, and the great partnership that they made with Vermilion. All right. I am so happy to be sitting down with Miss Kamisha Turner. Kamisha is also my sister's name, so I feel some type of sibling love here. Kamisha Turner of Vermilion. We are talking today about the show that you guys have up called Debt to the Queen. Please tell our audience a little bit more about this.
Absolutely. It was an amazing opportunity that Vermilion gave me to curate this show. And I really wanted to highlight Black women and Black mothers and how resilient we are and how there's so many stereotypes and preconceived notions that we are trying to work to break down. So I wanted to have a show that had amazing Black women artists from Seattle. So we have like this all-star amazing crew. And then also Black mothers as well, because again, I don't think that we always get the recognition that we deserve, but we are always like at the forefront of revolution and, helping the world and change the culture. So I'm excited about it. It turned out really, really well. And I hope everybody gets to see it before it comes down.
Yeah, please, before we have to let you go, let us hear like when this show is open, when can people come and see it? Where can they see it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see it at Vermilion Gallery, which is up in Capitol Hill. It's actually just really close to the Black Lives Matter mural. And three of us from that group, Vivid Matter Collective, are actually part of this show as well. And so go ahead and see it. There's a beautiful window, so you can actually see the work if the shop is closed. But this weekend, for sure, you'll be able to go in there, I believe, from 1 to 6. You'll be able to see. And if you go to vermilion.com, there's a lot more information there as well. And then we'll have another show afterward that I'm excited for you guys to see and another. So yeah, it's an amazing opportunity to see some really, really great artists that really don't always get the recognition they deserve.
There we go. Check out, it's actually vermilionseattle.com where you guys can find out more about this show. And you know what? Shout out to all of you amazing artists that are out there doing good works. We actually have some video of some of the artwork here at Vermilion. And honestly, you guys, I got to say, one of my favorite artists, Miss T Dub, is a part of the amazing artists in this collective, but also some of her artwork is right here in the show. And, one of the things that Kamisha said, I think that really struck me was, hey, we needed to pay homage to the mothers, artist mothers out there. So shout out to Alicia, my childhood friend, also another amazing curator and artist. And her work is also there in the show. So, hey, if you guys have some time, check it out.
No, it's dope. And actually, one other thing that we'll put out there is that the full interview is probably available right now on our Instagram. If you go to at WW Converge on Instagram, the full interview is there. Probably up on our Facebook page as well. You see that Basa Gordon just checked in the back room there. Saw this moving along. We got lots of news is moving today. We're at a good pace today. No rants, no nothing. So King 5 actually aired a story about Franklin Park in Tacoma. The parks commissioners there voted to rename it after Rosa Franklin. And so this is pretty dope. We're going to play this right here. We'll talk about it.
Well, the park I'm standing in now used to be named after one of the country's founders, Benjamin Franklin. But now Franklin will stand for Rosa Franklin, a former Washington state senator. And this will be the first park in Tacoma named after a Black American. A new level of meaning is being laid on Franklin Park. Last night, the commissioners for Metro Parks Tacoma unanimously voted to rename the park in honor of Rosa Franklin. Originally from South Carolina, Franklin moved to Tacoma in 1954 with her husband. After a decades-long career in nursing, Franklin decided to run for office and became the first Black American woman to serve as a Washington state senator, holding the position from 1993 to 2010. Along with fighting for equal access to housing and health care, Franklin worked to build up the community, and Metro Parks felt it was time to highlight her work in that arena.
She was instrumental in helping us build support and get funding for the Star Center, which is a community center in South Tacoma. And just overall, she's been a very committed partner with us. As somebody who is local, she's a tremendous example that we really, I think, are privileged to be able to highlight by naming this park for her.
After hearing the news, Franklin was surprised and humbled to receive the honor, and took a moment to encourage those who have taken up her mantle to continue the work.
To those who are here now, you've done a great job. I have high respect for you, and our parks are so wonderful. Thank you so much, and thank you for this honor indeed.
Now, Metro Parks Tacoma also told us that this is part of a larger initiative to highlight the achievements of Tacomans of color. And they said that they hope that by renaming this park, this will better reflect the diversity that this city holds. In Tacoma, Lionel Donovan, King 5 News.
All right, so congratulations, Rosa Franklin. I had an opportunity to meet her years ago. What an amazing individual, very, very committed to the cause. You know what I'm saying? It's nice.
It really is. And also too, it's a great education, I think, for our audience out there. For me included, when we bring up these stories and we understand so much of the rich history of Black brilliance that has taken on many different forms within our state government, our city government. So it's really great. It's uplifting. Oh,
yeah. Man, look like a new brown face over there at King too. King 5. We have to look into that.
I know. I saw
I
that.
know none of it. Yeah. All right, brother. We see you.
Right.
All right. So, man, I mentioned that I was on this call earlier. It's actually still going on with Chris Bennett from the Seattle Medium. And Wednesday is always the day, too, that the Medium comes out in the print version and everything else. So we're going to end this segment with a few headlines that are coming to us from the Seattle Medium. First off here, we got lots of elders that like to watch the Morning Update show. Mayor's Council on African American Elders is seeking new members. Said the Seattle, the Mayor's Council is seeking new members. Members can reside anywhere in King County and must be willing to serve without compensation. Man, you gotta pay the fee. Expectations include participation in monthly meetings, currently held online the third Friday of every month, and at least one subcommittee. Committee members also promote and participate in relevant public meetings and events. So the mayor is looking, the Mayor's Council. So it's not like Mayor Durkin, but it is the Mayor's Council. It was actually established in 1995 by Mayor Norman B. Rice. So this council has been going on for quite a long time. So the Mayor's Council on African American Elders is seeking new members.
There we go. I mean, I know a few elders who may want to throw their hat in the ring. I mean, ultimately, it's a great thing that the Mayor's Council is listening to and connecting with African American elders. They're a staple of our community.
All right. Also from the Medium, bang. City of Seattle awards $2.3 million to Seattle child care providers. And this is your brother, Director Dwayne Chappelle, over at Deal. City of Seattle recently announced 506 grants that have been awarded through the Child Care Stabilization Fund to child care providers throughout Seattle, totaling $2.3 million. Funds will be dispersed to 344 licensed child care providers in school age only programs and to 162 family, friend, and neighbor or FFN caregivers. We actually talked about this. We had interviewed Director Chappelle a few weeks ago, and I mean, it's a real robust child care program that they're actually running here in the city of Seattle across a bunch of different providers and situations. You could have child care where your child is online and someone is basically working with them online. You got child care where you're taking your child to a child care facility or a daycare that's COVID safe and spaced. There's all kinds of grants out there, fee reduction. Like Director Chappelle, the city, they worked at it.
Well, you know, also too, this is a really great way that they've listened to community. There needed to be some diversity in how people can pay for childcare. And I'm really happy that Deal has listened again to the voices of those on the ground saying, look, we need a wide range of ways that people care for our children because that actually reflects our lived experience. So I'm glad that that's been a part of this 2.3 million coming into childcare.
All right. You know, we all about them Garfield Bulldogs, but I saw this headline as well at the Seattle Medium. Roosevelt alums work to promote racial equality, provide scholarships for disadvantaged students. Alumni of Roosevelt High School have come together in an unprecedented manner to promote racial equality at the school by establishing the Roosevelt Alumni for Race Equity, or RARE, program. A group of Roosevelt High School graduates who aim to support Roosevelt students of color and economically disadvantaged students and to promote more racially inclusive academic atmosphere. And it says Joe Hunter, a retired manager from J.C. Penney's, and Tony Allison, a retired international business executive turned educator, are co-leaders of this rare program. Both graduated from Roosevelt in 1971 and are looking to help provide opportunities for current students at the school. So big shout out to this rare program and to the Roosevelt Rough Riders.
There we go. I mean, you know, it's not many days here on Converge that we got to give love to people. understand a lot of this this media, right? Omari has been doing such a great job. The team here at Converge has been doing a great job. And ultimately, we want to show you guys how to do a great job. So please look up that link. You know, I see. Look, all you making that.
Look,
see, they need to see you doing everything.
What if all you was as tall as Jake was? That would
that would have been 1 feet.
All right, one last thing here. We're getting ready for right now. So next up, right after this break, man, I like these motion graphics. Besa Gordon is in the house. She's going to tell us all about the Rewind with Besa. We're going to take a short. That was a nice run through the headlines.
Yeah, it really was. It felt good.
We got through it. We're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we've got Besa Gordon in the house. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us. Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, welcome back to Word Up. That's what happens. I be watching on my computer like, ooh, what's next? Who's just donate? Man, well, we're back with sound, so this is a good thing. Thank you for everybody. You know, man, our viewers are always so proactive. Like, no sound, no sound. And so Alia D'Alessandro got it all sorted out over there. So we're back here. But also want to take this moment to say thank you so much. You know, in Swahili, asante sana kabisa. Thank you so much completely for your support of Converge Media. You know what I'm saying? You guys literally do keep us on the air by your generous, donations and subscriptions. And I know not everybody's in a position to be able to donate. You know, that's cool too, man, because we also accept good vibes and prayers. And some of these nights, prayers, them good prayers are worth way more than any donation. So, but just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you to our viewers. I mean, you guys are all real special to us, definitely. All right, that being said, it's about that time. Oh yeah, please bring in Besa Gordon.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Besa.
What's up, B?
How are you guys doing?
Good.
This is a good day. You know what I'm saying? We moving through it. What's up with you?
And I'm not muted, so hallelujah to that.
Yeah, and you sound real good.
I got my Yeti. You know, I'm like Nikki today.
There we
together.
Go. We got you. Yeah, the home studio's coming together, Besa.
little bit. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, this Saturday, because we're here and you guys are moving, and I don't want to slow down no process. So hello, everyone.
By the way, we got time for you, but let's start with this. We're gonna talk to you about a few things. Well, hold on. Let me help you out, because we got a graphic over here with no description, so you can tell everybody what's going on.
Sorry about that. I will hit up Derek. First of all, Derek is the one that does all of my graphics. He is amazing. I will hit him up tonight and have him add the title. But this weekend's panel is going to be about Black inclusion in award shows. I thought it would be dope to do something like this in the middle of Black History Month, and especially since, you watch a lot of the different films about Black history. People are saying Black people invented this, we created that sound, But my thing is, well, who is the one that's saying that this or that is what can validate our sound? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how is it that this award is so prestigious, but that award isn't so prestigious? And frankly, I don't have the answers to all of that, so we're going to have the conversation.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I didn't quite watch the rewind 2 episodes ago. That was will sex work be normalized in 2021?
You didn't have enough ice.
And I probably tuned in at like the worst 3 minutes that I could have. I mean, it was a good show and everything, but yeah. But I did. I did too. I actually directed, and Carlos directed that one. I directed the show. What was it? Not last Saturday, the Saturday before.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing headlines, and so one thing.
Warrior speed.
Yeah, you know, it was all headlines and stuff like that. I might be able to roll with this one, you know. But the best thing is about the rewind when Besa is like, man, you're really talking about a lot of these topics that people are talking about on the street level, you know.
Yeah, because these are things that I scroll on Instagram. I'm on air and I'm talking about these things. I'm talking about Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not talking about sex work. I don't even know if I could technically say the word sex on the radio. So I leave those things alone when it comes to on air. But I can talk about all of the Gorilla Glue, Megan Thee Stallion, the Baby, Danny Lay, Yellow Birds. I can do all of that on my show.
Man, what's up with old girl with the Gorilla Glue, man? I mean, her hair is laid like no other. I mean, has she even found any kind of relief, Besa? I mean, that's the update I need, man. She needs to be able to let her hair loose.
You know what she did? She asked for them to donate her money so that way she could buy wigs because she's not allowed to put any product in her hair for about 6 weeks. So what they did was not only did they fly her to LA to go get the surgery, which was really a concoction they put in her hair to take the stuff out, but they ended up taking her to like some celebrity hairstylist that put like a wig on her hair. Like sis got a whole upgrade for doing something real dumb. I'll say that.
Right. There we go. There we go. A lesson for many out there. Please make sure you are reading the warning signs on the products that you're using, man. That's a serious thing.
But it's called Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
To be fair, there is something called Gorilla Snot. I'm not too worried about the fact that it's called Gorilla Glue. My problem is that you took a product in your hair that you would buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. Where does that make sense? I'm not protecting you for doing dumb things like that. Like, we need to do better in 2021.
Well, there was also the Gorilla Sipper guy who put the Gorilla Glue on his lips.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
He thought that he would be able to lick his lips. I guess he had to go to the hospital. They had to pry his lips apart. It took about 4 hours. And they said if your lip does not heal properly, they'll have to like cut off the tip of his lip.
Oh my God.
So let me ask you a question here, man, because you're in this space. How much is social media just where people? I think people have always been doing like crazy dumb stuff since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? Well before social media and everything. We know growing up there's somebody who did this or did that. But how much do you think social media is just playing in some of this stuff we seeing, or you know what I'm saying, the push for attention or push for likes?
It's 100% playing in that. And it's unfortunate that because we're all stuck at home, we have nothing to do but scroll and look on it. And, you know, even the news, unless something crazy in the world happens, which a lot of crazy things are happening, they would rather bury it with something about the Gorilla Glue girl. So that way we're a little more distracted. So with everyone sitting on TikTok all day, everyone sitting on Instagram all day, everyone trying to make their way through that YouTube algorithm, people are constantly doing things to be seen in the public eye, even if you look crazy. Like, I mean, at this point, she's verified on Instagram. She has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. Everybody knows her at this point. So, I mean,
man, this is how cold.
Messed up,
this is how cold it is, man. Is that we sent a verification over to Instagram in July. for Converge Media, for myself, and man, we get no love over there on the blue check. No. But I guess that's because I didn't pull out the Gorilla Glue, Jake.
Yeah. You do something with your baldness and the Gorilla Glue, and then who knows, man.
I mean, but it also kind of makes you not want the blue check. Like, damn, okay, well, if you can Gorilla Glue your hair and get a blue check, then what's the blue check really worth?
Yeah, this is such a thing. And, Besa, I want to actually talk to you a little bit about what this Saturday is going to be about, because I love that you are actually tackling these award shows. I mean, many, many people have been talking about this, and this is an issue. We saw many times, many years while I was still watching award shows, it was like some of our biggest name artists would make sure they're at the bigger award shows, but they would not come to the BET Awards, right?
Or the Soul Train Awards.
Like, what is up with that? I hope you guys are going to be getting into that on Saturday.
Oh, that's definitely one of the questions, because like I said, what is it that causes the verification or the validation for what really does and doesn't matter? Like, I understand that the Grammys is a very prestigious award, but what makes it so prestigious when you have a bunch of people that are voting for your art that doesn't necessarily look like you? So at that point, it's like, what are we really going for here? Again, I don't have the answers. I just ask the questions.
There we go. And you got the panel too that can really help answer the questions. I mean, that's the part. You're bringing on diverse voices in terms of topics that are really hitting the streets, as O said earlier.
Let me put this overlay up here. Maybe you can tell us about some of your panelists.
Yeah, so we have my girl Alicia Brown, who has been co-hosting with me these last couple episodes. Dom Lu and Jazzy Red, they actually have a Facebook podcast that they do together. Dom Lu is hilarious. Jazzy Red, you guys might remember her from Black, what is it called?
We played her clip the
Black
other day.
Winds. Yes.
Yeah.
So she's also going to join us to talk a little bit more about it, and she's going to stay for a little bit of the panel. Because Toya Palmer used to do PR, and I actually think she's back doing PR again for different artists and just other different companies out here. Lex Jones, he is the morning show DJ down in the Bay on KMEL for Synergy in the morning, but he's also my 11 p.m. DJ on Saturdays here at Cube. And then we have Sierra from Black in the City podcast. I mean, like, why not?
This is dope. So let me do this right now. I'm putting the links. This is for people who are watching on Facebook. That's the link right there that we just put in there. And then let me put in the link for people on YouTube, so you can go and you can get an alert when the show's coming on Saturday at 2:00. See, multitasking never looks good in the camera. I thought she was going to take it to you.
Well, there we go, though. I mean, that showcases the dedication of Converge Media. You got Big O working or nonstop almost most days around the clock to make sure that these shows get the promotion they need. Base, I have one more question for you, because now you've been settling in to the Converge family for some time now. How are you feeling as one of our newest Converge family members?
I feel good, and like I have to continue getting organized. I'm getting better, but I'm not used to not doing everything on my own. So I'm used to kind of doing things on my own time frame. I'm used to just staying up until like 2, 3 in the morning, putting things together. So one, not only am I learning how to get properly organized and actually put together a full show, because O has like his way of doing things, and it honestly makes sense, which lets me know I've just been kind of doing things in the whim. But honestly, it's like family, you know what I mean? Like I told people that this is like my Black CNN. This is like, to be a part of Converge, it's like to be a part of, I was never in like a sorority or anything like that, but it's like a little club, you know?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. A nice little family club.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what's up, man. And I'll say this is that Besa puts the time and the commitment in, and it's a great relationship. And I think that especially when we look at Besa's career, this is somebody, when we talk about thriving in their purpose, Besa is someone who continues to thrive in her purpose. And now you're back with us again on Friday, right?
Yes. I will be back on Friday.
She's excited about it too. I love that. Yes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
This is like my break from life when I come on here. I'm not doing a Zoom call. I'm not checking an email.
Look, her buddy is joining us tomorrow. So Julia, Jesse, and Mike Davis, they're actually joining us tomorrow. We might have to sneak Besa back. That's her squad over there.
I don't know about all that.
Besa's like, look, I know how to clap back. Okay, yes, absolutely.
All right, Besa, man, appreciate you checking in with us, and we'll catch you Friday morning. Okay.
Yes, talk to you guys Friday. Bye.
Bye, Besa.
Bye. Yeah.
I always love Besa's energy.
Well, of course. Nah, Besa's moving and grooving. You know what I'm saying? And it's really a pleasure to see that. And I mean, it's a big part of our growth. And, also, so the Rewind is across all the video platforms, but it's also on all the podcast platforms. So you can find on Converge Media podcast, the podcast network on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find a Converge Media podcast network, and you can find the Rewind with Besa.
Oh man, Converge has been growing so well, so organically. Shout out to you again, Besa, for bringing on these amazing panelists. Yeah. And again, I just love seeing how our programming, man, is growing, man. It's bubbling up, man. Converge is doing it. That's great to know.
Hey, man, everything in its time.
That's right.
I was on this call earlier where I was talking about, and so on the call you had Black media, and then you had like a lot of different stakeholders who wanted to learn more about Black media, people from different cities and counties, private companies, government, some of everything else. And what I told them in the brief time that I had here was, it was 20 years, a 20-year career of preparation that met the opportunity this summer to tell our stories in the midst of this social justice uprising. So it's a 20 years on the grind of meeting this moment right here. And I mean, when we talk about thriving in your purpose, I've never felt more purposeful in my life than I do right now.
Absolutely, Big O. And I think that I can echo those sentiments wholeheartedly. So much of, my lived experience was about being in front of the camera, behind the camera, on stage, behind the stage. So I share that sentiment with you wholeheartedly. Oh, and honestly, the dedication, I think, from our team comes through like no other. It is something that, you guys don't know. I have seen him sleeping in the office and getting up to make sure that things are produced for the next day. And so the dedication is clear, man, and it shows in the product.
Yeah, well, our commitments to our community. And that's where we'll keep it. We're going to go to break too, all ya. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we got a few more updates right here on the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city. I did it for the love. I did it for the people. I did it for us. Back on this rap ish. I ain't even broke a sweat, homie. This practice. Pondering my next move. Staring at my track list. Hope I ain't missed my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. So, Trey Holiday, we just got a few announcements to make here. I guess we'll start first with Nate Jackson. We'll put this up here, man. We support Nate, man. Nate, this is a big undertaking he's got going on down there in Tacoma. Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club, man. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely all in on this venture. He's got Michael Blackson. I just put the link there for tickets. If you're looking for a laugh this weekend, Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club down there in Tacoma. You were down there. COVID safe environment, 25% capacity.
Yeah, definitely COVID safe, and they're doing it well. At the end of the day, everybody is masked up unless you're eating or drinking. And they even make announcements throughout the show. Hey, make sure you keep your mask up if you're not eating or drinking at the moment. It's not about that, but also too high ceilings, man. I mean, it's a space that really does allow for that free fresh air coming from the outside through that expensive system he told us about when he was on the show, that really you can feel it. You can feel that there is some real good circulation happening in the building and in this space. Shout out to you, Nate, again. And every time I see that picture of Michael Blackston, it just makes me crack up because he he is way too funny, man. And that is a great summary right there of what you guys can probably expect this weekend.
Right. And we put the link to Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club there in the comments. Check that out. Support Black business. Definitely, man. If there's anybody needs some support, there was another episode of Young Rock on last night. Also, I will say this. It might be coincidence. It might not. But since Nate Jackson came on the Morning Update show and talked about how he has a reoccurring role in the #1 show in America, and he's, from a local guy made good with Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club, and he talked about how he's here, #1 show in America, reoccurring role as a junkyard dog, and couldn't get any media coverage. I'm happy to say that almost 1 week after he's come on, that Nate Jackson's getting all kinds of coverage. People are talking about his role in Young Rock, talking about his comedy club and everything else. Not saying that's because of us, but he did call people out on air.
He did.
He did. And those people responded, and that's actually what was supposed to happen. So let's see here. This is tonight. Our partners over at the Black Heritage Society of the State of Washington, SJT, Stephanie Johnson-Tolliver. This is When History is Your Story. This is tonight at 6:30. How does history shape who you are? Hear from community members inspired by moments from local Black history that impact their present lives. This is kind of a long URL, but if you go to mohi.org, you can connect through there. So mohi.org. This is at 6:30 p.m. And it's put on by the Black Heritage Society of the State of Washington, a very outstanding organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we talk about understanding history, those guys understand the history, man, and their archives is phenomenal, honestly, just to be able to pull out certain facets and photos. I mean, they have a lot of great assets down there, and I'm just glad that they're able to put this event on in partnership with MOHI. We know MOHI also, too, has some amazing archives, and honestly, this is a really great partnership, man. I know that this event is going to be a great one.
Yeah, and when MOHI opens back up, we want to encourage everybody. Converge is there in the MOHI. That was a crazy moment. We still haven't put out any of the pictures of that day that they gave us a tour over there at MOHI, and we see Converge's place over there. A real emotional moment, But as things open back up, the public will be able to see Converge there in the Museum of History and Industry, which is pretty dope. Tomorrow, talked about this. We're joined by Julia Jesse of Converge Media and Mike Davis of the South Seattle Emerald. Tomorrow is Thursday, so 7 o'clock tomorrow night is Clapback Culture, and they're gonna give us a preview.
You know what? I'm excited, man, because those guys have pulled together, and I love their energy together. You know what I mean? Honestly, Julia Jesse and Mike Davis, they come with that 1-2 punch, man, for Clapback Culture. And so just shout out to you guys. It's been another amazing addition to the Converge family. And these guys have been holding it down, man, making sure that, they're there on those Thursdays, man. If you guys are ready to hear it, they are ready to give it.
And all right, let me put this up here real quick too. Mugs are in. They're $12. It's a good way to support us over here at Converge. It's our mugs. This is the second version of the mugs now. What are Go Forward in Your Purpose, Go Forward in Your Humanity. $12. Support the cause. We appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying? Again, real thankful for all of our supporters out there, and thankful for everybody who's been sharing the stream and telling a friend about Converge. And I shouted out Bellingham yesterday, and they shouted me back. So I'm like, it's like call and response. So I'm gonna shout out Bellingham again. And also new viewers down in Vancouver, Washington. We appreciate you. Happy to have you here on the Morning Update Show. Any last words before we get out of here, Trey Holiday?
You know what? As we say to folks, please, make it a great day. I see a little bit more sun out there today. I'm going to try to get out there and go for a walk myself. You know what I mean? So I'm going to encourage y'all to do the same. Get some good air.
All right. So today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, okay, it is. So tonight, 6:15, coronavirus update show with me and producer Nikki Barron. See, I thought I was going to get out of here early today and go home. Looks like I'll be here at least until like 7 o'clock. But 6:15 tonight, coronavirus update show with Nikki Barron, talking about the latest numbers and resources for our community. And on that note, want to remind you to please go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.